Okay, so let's have a look at the world, and of course we can see that the poorer countries or less developed countries have a much lower vaccination rate than richer countries, right? And so the world is here, and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to click on Add Country in the top left, just for the sake of making the video clearer, and then I'm just going to select World and just get that. Now you can see that it's kind of interesting, but this web, once China gives their data, it changes, right? But let's assume that, and you can see once again with extrapolation, even with something like that, we don't want to use a point. Don't want to go back all the way to, July or June to try to estimate what's going to happen in the future. Extrapolation means you're just looking at the recent data and using that to project ahead. And you probably shouldn't project too far ahead with extrapolation. And we're probably projecting too far ahead when we're shooting for this 80%. But anyway, just for the sake of interest, if we keep going at the current rate, how long will it take before 80% of the world has at least one vaccine, right? And of course, there's huge questions with that about distribution and the cost of it, and who knows. So anyway, but just for fun, I'm here at September 25th, 2021, and I'm seeing in the world that's about 44.4%. So September 25th, I've got 44.4%. And I'm just going to go back to maybe August, around the same date. 25th. Well, my gosh, August 25th was underneath that little trough there, wasn't it? And so we don't want to use that. I'm going to use August, the number from August 26th, because that's more realistic for the purpose, isn't it? So August 26th, I'm going to go to 38.8. Because we want to include when China gave their data, otherwise we're going to have a poor prediction, right? So, and that's August 26th, right? So once again, we'll just subtract to get our monthly growth rate. So we'll just go 44.4, subtract 38.8, and that gives us 5.6. So our monthly growth rate, or average growth rate, we've got 5.6%. Yeah, and I know this, August 26th, September 25th, it's not a perfect month, I guess, but this is all just estimation, giving us a ballpark estimate, right? So growth rate about 5.6%, increase in vaccinations per month, okay? And we want to get to 80%. So we're at 44.4 here at this date. So I go 80 and subtract 44.4. And I get 35.6. So we got 35.6% remaining to get to that 80% threshold. And we're doing 5.6% per month. So if I divide, 35.6 divided by 5.6, I get 6.35. So I'm going to call that approximately 6.4 months, right? 35.6% of the world's population left to vaccinate to get to 44.4, because that'll add to 80%, right? Or to get to 80%, right? And we're doing 5.6% per month. So about 6.4 months. Now we're in the end of September. So end of October is 1 month. November, December, that's 3 months. January, February, March, that's the end of March, we'll get a 6 months. And then into April. So about April 2022. Seems to be when the world might hit 80% if we continue at the same growth rate. Of course, if that growth rate increases, we'll get there sooner. If it decreases, it'll take longer. But that's a decent estimate, and it's a fun use of extrapolation, I think.